when Yaakov Goldfeder, before he really dropped, came up to my wife with one of my daughters and said, "Here, give her to me." And my wife's like, "What? Hey, give it to me. I'm the candy man." Because that's what he would do in Shayashiv and everywhere else he went. He was a candy man. But how would she know? She never went to shul. She's got this little kid, and here's this older man trying to give me a child. And he started busting up laughing.
Don't hate your competitors.
What's going on? Okay. Ready to learn? Let's go. Chaza from yesterday. Okay, tonight's daf is geschmack, I have to say. Tonight's daf is as difficult as last night's was. Tonight's got some major yosidis. We're going to go with that lashon, okay? Major yosidis tonight in the daf.
Should we have Rav David Cohen in mind?
Rav David Feinstein.
Rav David Feinstein. I knew it was Rav David.
Yes, Avada. It should be a chusar for Shalem Rav David Feinstein.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so if one forgets that it was Shabbos and then remembers, throwing and it gets intercepted by a dog, catches it, or it gets burned, then the rule that shoygig needs to be from beginning to end. That was a Mishna. Right? Then the Gemara says that a contradiction between the first line of the Mishnah and the second line. Then there's really two different halachos being taught in the Mishnah. Second answer is that there's words missing from the Mishnah. It's a chesura mechsra. Then throwing or carrying 2 amas by mistake, then 2 on purpose, then 2 by mistake. Then throwing into dog's mouth with intent and without intent. Eating one item, needing, what did I write here? Needing to bring, that's why I made a typo there. And needing to bring 4 korbanos and 1 korban ashim, right? If you were tomei and eating kachim, then carrying in the mouth is considered a resting place. That was the end of the parak of Havaboina. that was the end of parak Hazorik. Then parak Haboina is minimum amounts for building and chiseling, final, and then makabah patish, making a hole in rocks. And then the rule was that any work that's lasting is assur. And then Reb Shimon Gamliel says if you hit a hammer on a piece of metal, then it's chayiv, which we'll see in the Gemara. What's the minimum amount going to accomplish? Meaning, what can you possibly accomplish with a little bit of building? Then we said, what was it done in the Mishkan? So the Gemara goes through different ways. And then 3 ways to be chayiv for setting up rocks, right? There's 3 levels of rocks. There's the bottom, middle, and top. And then 3 cases where Rav says that building on Shabbos and Shmuel says it's makabah patish. That's by chiseling a rock, making a hole in another typo there, making a hole in a chicken coop, and sticking a little piece into a broken hole. Okay, so we're on the 3 lines up from the bottom. 4 lines up from the bottom on Kuf Beis Amud Beis. Yes, chiseling out stones. Why is he chayiv? He showed him with his hand that it's because of makabah patish. It says masatis and makabah patish. Ema hamasatis hamakabah patish. You always say a masatis, who is. It's the way you read it is hamasatis hamakabah patish. Meaning, if you do masatis, if you chisel, that is makabah patish. Not that it's 2 different things. Okay, toshima. Hakadeach kol shu chayiv. So making if you drill a hole in something, even the smallest amount, you chayiv. Bishlam l'rav mechsi kaman dochar chusa lebinyana. So according to Rav, he looks like when you drill a hole, dochar chusa lebinyana, it looks like you're drilling a hole in order to build on it. El l'shmuel lav gemar malachahu. But according to Shmuel, that's not a gemar malacha. To make a hole in something is not a gemar malacha. That's just the beginning of it, because you're going to have to do something with that hole. How can you call that a makabah patish? So hamayaskinin de baze beramtza de parzala b'shavke b'kavei tahainu gemar malacha. So what he did is he put a ramtza de parzala, like a long nail inside, and he left it in there, right? He left it in there so that he could hang things on it. So it's sort of like you put a hook into the wall, which is a gemar malacha, right? So meaning he drilled a hole with a piece of metal, and then he left the metal in the hole, and now he did a makabah patish, because now he's able to hang things on there. So that is drilling a hole with makabah patish. Okay, ze הכלל. Then the Mishna says that there's a rule So that has to be coming to teach us something. What's it coming to include? It's coming to include. I forgot what this means here. Yeah, so you're digging a hole that it's in order to hold a kav, right? A kfiza of a kav. That's a measurement. That's how big a hole that you're going to do. So that would be in a stone. You're drilling that size of a hole in a stone, right? Yeah, but since the Maisa, that hole is at the point of no return, and you've accomplished something with that hole, so that's called a work that's going to last, and therefore you're going to be chayav on it. Fine. So if you hit on the piece of metal with your hammer, so then you're going to be chayav for that. My COVID. What are you doing? Because it's going to straighten out his hand. Yeah, meaning what is this thing going to do? It sort of acts like again, to use a baseball mashal, right? It's like it's like practice. I mean, it's sort of like using a batting donut or something, right? You take your practice swings with a bat, so you learn how to hit normally. So that's what this metal thing is. You're learning how to hit properly. So you bang down the hammer on that, so you're going to be chayav. So the obvious question: if you're going to learn, if you're going to see an umnus on Shabbos, you're watching somebody work on Shabbos, and it's going to teach you how to do an umnus, so then you're going to be chayav achatas for that. Now, how can you possibly say, just standing on second, how can you possibly see that? How can you possibly watch?
Just watching is not enough.
What are you saying?
Just watching is not enough. Watching somebody else, even if you learn from that, watching is not enough. You're the guy's doing an action. So I'm saying it's not a comparable thing, because you're just watching. It's not enough.
Right. See, I was going to ask you.
Yeah, but you're not doing them a lot. But granted, I hear what you say, but you're not doing them a lot. That's what you want to say, Akiva?
No, my question was, why don't you ask very pashut? What malacha is this? Forget about whether you're doing an action. Like he said, you could be mechalik between here you just watched, you're actually doing an action. Why don't you ask, what category is this?
Well,
where does this fit?
That is sort of what the Gemara is asking.
No, the Gemara, the way the Gemara asked it, you could be mechalik like he just asked. He said, well, one of them you're not watching, one of them you're actually doing.
Right, but at the end of the day,
what's the Gemara's Havamina? How about that? What's the Gemara's Havamina if they don't have?
I don't know. I don't understand the Gemara's Havamina. 1 second. So now we have Reb David. You're asking that you don't understand the teretz, meaning the Havamina is a good Havamina.
What's malacha?
Now Kiva's saying that you doesn't understand the Havamina. What's the malacha?
Yeah,
that's what I'm asking.
Who said it's not a malacha? You go watch a guy. You work in a grocery store on Shabbos, and you learn how to, and you see him, and you learn how to do a cash register. Maybe that's malach. And Sunday morning, you go to your store, and you know how to do a cash register better. Well, maybe it is malacha. Why not?
What, the malach of watching?
Maybe. Why not? That's Hashem. There's a bris tomorrow, right? Somebody comes and stands over Rabbi Kaplan's shoulder to learn how to do a bris. No.
No.
Good luck to him.
He's never going to be chayav for just looking.
How do you know?
Because
makes me very happy to hear you're not chayav for looking.
Very good. Okay, very good.
Very good. No, but I think that's essentially what the kavanah of the Gemara's kasha is here. Like, what malacha is there? It's just coming. It has different ways of going about asking it, right?
It's a funny way to ask it if you're trying to ask it. The Gemara should have just said, "What is this malacha?" Gemara does that many times before.
I understand. I always have. I know. I saw it.
Well, maybe it's okay. It's Rav Shimon Gamliel's shita, right? It's Rav Shimon Gamliel saying, yeah. I don't know. I hear.
Could it be?
I hear both kashas. But here's another thing. Is there? Yeah, go ahead.
Could it be the Gemara, Rabbi and Rav Yosef are trying to say that it's boina in himself? It's boina of his muscle memory. So Elamayata is Chazal.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
He's building also it's neither Baina. That's what it's asking. Seeing is nothing because you're not doing anything Lamaisa, so muscle memory is also nothing.
He's saying
Not
muscle memory, but
building.
what malacha does muscle memory go under? I don't know.
Whatever the Misa that he's doing here. Baina here.
That's Rashi. Rashi in
He's binding.
Subas. No, he's Baina Ba'adam.
You'd call that being biner. You're saying that's binding. If you're learning how, if your
Whatever-
muscle memory is teaching you how to be, you're binding your own body. You're saying, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Isn't there
That's Rashi in Subas. He got Baina
isn't there
Ba'adam.
halacha against training, I guess, on Shabbos, like learning something you can learn.
Oh, so very good. Now Simon's saying a different Indian. That's an issa d'Rabbanan to learn. That's also al staber dover. Yes, you would not be able to learn. It's a common question. Can people want to study on Shabbos? Can they study for exams and all that? It's really, really schwer. But if you enjoy it, then you could do it. If you enjoy it, there's makilim. It's not great.
I was told also if it's science, you can because you're studying the Bria.
If it's not apikorsis science. Yeah. Okay. It's good order. The Lamaisa, the Gemara changes its pshat. So Ella, for whatever reasons, right? Whichever way we want to go about it, the Gemara is changing. Ella ba'avarova dami tavar shekin meradede tase mishkan oisen kain. Those that are making the metal that they line the mishkan with, they do it. What they do is they take the crushim. It's made out of wood, and they put it. They how do you say it? They not line it. They plate it, right? They plate it with gold, right? So they want to make sure that their hammer doesn't mess up the sheets of metal. So therefore, they flatten it out when they bang it on the metal. That straightens it out. If you smack up on a piece of metal to smooth out your hammer. Yeah, like Rashi says, because if you're not going to smooth out the hammer, when you bang it, the hammer gets like these little indentations, and then the metal that you're ultimately putting onto the mishkan is going to end up with pock marks and stuff. So if you do that stam when you're banging, Rashi says you hit 3 times on the metal, 3 times on whatever it is that you're banging, and once on this sadin to straighten out. That's the way Rashi says it. So again, Rav Shimon Tani Nami Rav Shimon Lelemar Afamaka Bakurnas of Alasadin B'Shas Malacha Chayev. Why? She came around the Tasei Mishkan Oisen came. Right, the people that put on the lining of the Mishkan do this. Okay, so
and this malacha is makav patish. What is
makav patish? Literally.
How?
What do you mean how? Because you're fixing the hammer every time you do it.
I hear.
I think that's the way I understand it. You're fixing the hammer. When you bang on this tas, on this piece of metal, it flattens out your hammer. Now it fixes your hammer. Yeah. So zok the Mishna. Chayrish kol shehu. If you plow, it's a kol shehu. Hamanachish, v'amakarsim, v'amazara. Those are all types of pruning. Kol shehu. The tiniest amount is chayiv. Hamalaket eitzim. If you gather wood, im l'sakin. If you're gathering the wood to fix the tree, meaning also a form of pruning. Kol shehain. And then it's going to be a kol shehain, even the smallest amount. Im lahesek. But if, like we had before, if you're cutting down the wood in order to use it as firewood, then that's kedei lavashal beitzah kala. That's in order to make enough wood to cook a light egg. Hamalakat asavim. If you gather grass, im l'sakin kolshu. If it's to fix your lawn, then it's a kolshu. Im l'behema kamalei pigdi. If it's for a behema, then it's like the amount of the gedi. Yeah. So it's up to Gemara lamai chazila, right? So what do you plow? What's plowing going to do for you? How Amashu was saying, right? What are you going to do with that? So chazil vizur dekara. You can put it for a seed of a what do you call it? Pumpkin. The kavasok gabi mishkan. Okay, so what do they do by the mishkan? Shken roy lekaleach echad lekelach echad shel samana. A kolshu, if you plow a kolshu, you could put 1 stalk of the herbs. Yeah, I actually remembered the types. Herbs, yeah. You can that's the minimum amount that you would need, so therefore it's okay. That's not okay, that's how much you would do. That's how much you'd have to do to be mechayev. Hamanakish makarzim v'mazarid. Yeah, so those are all pruning things. Tanaban hatoilish ulshin. right? So if you detach ulshin, what do you call ulshin? Ulshin, that's on Pesach. Endives, right?
Yes.
Endives. Yeah, exactly what endives are, I never knew. But
Yeah,
Moro.
they have more bugs than lettuce.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So then we don't know. Then we're putting
Also
that
called
in
chicory, no?
No, chicory.
Chicory?
Enzyme. Chicory something else.
Endive looks like miniature romaine lettuce.
Is that the same thing as chicory? Yeah, so
Uh-huh.
does chicory.
Yeah.
I hear. Okay, so atoilish ulshin v'mazaritz rodim, and if you what do you call it? And reeds. If you do also you cut down reeds. Imla achila kagroigos. If you're doing it for food, like so every other food, he said is like a dried fig. Imla behema kamalai piyagdi. If it's for a behema, it's like the mouth of a gdi. Imla hesik. If it's to use it for fire, kadei lavasho beitzakala. It's to cook a light egg. Imla yapis is a karka. If you're cutting it down in order to make your ground beautiful, kol shein it's the smallest amount. Atukulu loy liapis is a karka. Are not all these things going to make the karka nice? So why shouldn't it be a kolshu? Rabbi Yosef, but agam shanu. We're talking about in the swamps. You're cutting these things down in the swamps where you don't care whether it looks good or not.
Well, wouldn't that be melacha shein tzrich legufo? If you're not doing it for that purpose?
Not if you need the items.
No, but let's say you're doing it for hesek and you only do kolshu. So.
But no, but that's how he says melacha shein tzrich legufo. You need
No,
it.
I'm sorry. Davar shein miskaven. I'm sorry. Davar shein miskaven.
No, but what do you mean? It's davar shein miskaven. You have kavanah to cut it down because you need it.
Right, but you're cutting it for hesek.
What?
Right.
It may not fit into all four cases, but it'll fit into the other stuff. Few of the cases. No.
I mean, every single time you davar shein miskaven,
No, the Gemara is asking.
Are they not all? It's not all to be miyafa the karkas. We're saying,
but that wasn't your
You
kavanah.
want what you're doing. We just don't. You don't care about the rest of the land that you're taking it from. You don't care about improving the land because it's a swamp. But you
so
want what you're taking out of
but
you.
that's the teretz. That's the teretz.
I'm asking on the kasha.
Yes,
The Gemara is asking on all the cases. The Gemara is saying no matter what you
so
do,
we're saying because
why can't it all
be a mashu? Why are there four different measurements? It should also be a mashu because
the teretz is whatever your kavanah is.
It's what your kav. No, he's saying no. It's in an agam, so we don't. You
Right,
don't
but
care about
I'm saying
the the karka.
what I'm saying is I don't understand the kasha. If your kavanah is to cook, then it's about
It's not
your
asking
kavanah.
about assur. We're not asking about assur. It's assur to do without a doubt. It's only a matter of what the amounts are.
Right, but this is for chiyuv chatas.
Good, sir, but you're doing an assur. It's just a matter of what the amounts are. So why? So Gemara is asking, why are you saying different amounts? At the end of the day, it's going to be miyafa. It's going to beautify your grass. So therefore, it should always go with the minimum amount. It's not asking us assur or heter. It's assur all the way around. All right. Let's see the Vaita because the Gemara there's a major thing over here. That's what I want to get to. The lav agam. It could even be in a field that's not an agam. Okay. Now this Akiva is sort of what you're saying. We're going to loika mechaven. You don't have kavana to, right? This is what I think. This is what you're saying. You didn't have kavana to beautify it, right? Oh, but Abai and Rava both say that Reb Shimon holds that if it's going to automatically happen, and right, a psik ratio, you're going to cut off its head, but lo yom is not going to die, right? It's automatically going to happen. That it's going to be, it's still assur. Okay, this is a major line right here. It's talking about where you're cutting this grass by your friends and your friend's house. So since you don't care to beautify your friend's grass, therefore it's what? Psik ratio, deloy nichale. Okay, this is about as major a rule. We've had it before, but we have to. There's a big toisis here that's very, very important, right? So again, we're asking why you're not chayav for beautifying the guy's grass, right? You're beautifying the grass, so we say it's talking about where you don't care to beautify the grass. You're picking the grass because you want to make a fire or you want to feed your goat, right? So the Gemara says, what do you mean? Who cares? If you know that something's automatically going to happen, then we say that that's assur, that's a psik reisha. So Gemara answers, talking about where you're taking it from your friend's grass, which means that you don't care to do your friend's, you don't care to beautify your friend's grass, which Stamaz I don't understand, because aren't we supposed to be nice to our friends, right? And you should want to beautify your friend's grass. Okay, that's a different story, but you don't particularly care to do it. So basically what the Gemara is paskening here is psik reisha, that's loy nichale.
Jaco, is your house on fire?
Why?
There's a beep in the background. Is that my end or yours?
There's nothing beep. There's no beep here, and I'm not in my house.
My bad.
I hear it also. I hear the beep also.
I hear it
something
also.
ringing. I hear a ringing somewhere. No,
There's a beep like a smoke alarm.
Tell mommy the kugel is ready.
There's no beeping like that. There's no smoke alarm going off here, man. Well, how much alcohol was in that drink?
What was that beep?
Nice amount, Jaco, but if everybody else is hearing it, it's not me.
I don't know.
Everybody's muted except for you.
We're all hearing it.
Maybe I had too much alcohol. Okay, so I had too much alcohol. All right. I hear that. That's a ring.
But that means you're not hearing
ringing.
it. There's some beep going on.
That's a phone ringing.
A phone ringing. Tell somebody to answer it.
There's nobody.
It rang 100 times. What phone
okay,
rang
let's go.
100 times?
All right, let's go.
I'm going to blame it on Zevi. It's his fault. The only one not muted.
Okay. Anyway, so what basically the Gemara is saying is that if it's a psik reisha, the loy nichale, then it's going to be okay. Right now, right here in the Taisis loy tzricha, we just have to do 3 lines of this Taisis because a major rule. Loy tzricha David ba'ara techare. You need it because we're doing it's talking about where you did it in your friend's house, so you don't care to make your friend's grass nice. Pirush ba'aruch, the psik reisha the loy nichale. If it's a psik reisha that you don't care about, it's as if, for example, you do it in your friend's house, or going or somebody who you don't like. If you have a tzaras on the bris, all right, there's an assur to cut off the tzaras. We had that last week. So what happens if it's on the milah and then you're cutting it off anyways? So you're doing an assur and a heter, right? You're doing the bris, but you're also cutting off tzaras, right? She'ein loy hana. You have no hana. Mutter lichat chila. It's mutter lichat chila. Vafilu issa derabanan leka. And even a issa derabanan you don't have. This is the famous shita of the Aruch, who says that a psik reisha deloy nichale is mutter lichat chila. Okay, now Taisus back on Ayin Hey, the Masaras Hashas, Rabbi Kiva Eger. Does this one have Rabbi Kiva Eger? Well, at least in the new Gemaras, there's a Rabbi Kiva Eger that asks on this, whatever it is. But, he asked from the Rashi. But anyways, the shita of the Aruch, we don't paskin like the Aruch, but Lamaisa, we use it in a shasat chak situation with combinations of things to be mater psik reishas. The loy nichale is if it's a desperate situation, we will allow a psik reisha the loy nichale. Okay. I had the shaila last week where somebody, I don't know, did I discuss it? I don't think we discussed it this year, but a girl just becoming from, or has become from, and the family refuses to let her shut the light bulb in the refrigerator on Shabbos. So she's stuck, only from girl, with a whole family who not from, and they don't let her shut the light for the fridge on Shabbos. How is she ever going to go into the fridge on Shabbos? This is somebody that just became from, right? So the question is, can you allow it out the aruch? The Maisa, she doesn't want that light. When she's opening the refrigerator door, there's a light going on. That's a psik reisha. It's loy nichale. We don't paskin like the aruch, but there's a rule in psak that when you're in a desperate situation, you can even rely on the das yachid, right? So memela, I hope I was right. I said that she can open the door. Certainly, if she opens the door with a shinui, that downgrades it to a Durabanan of a Psik Reish L'Nichle, but whatever it is, the Pais can use this Aruch in desperate situations, and certainly in combinations with where if it's a Durabanan, and then it's a Psik Reish L'Nichle. I hope the Olam is following what I'm saying, but whatever it is, this Aruch is extremely important to know.
You had a question like this recently, and you said even though we don't hold by it, but in certain situations you can hold by it.
Correct. Right. So that's this Taisus right here, and the Chayra, the Gemara is mashma like that. I mean, the way the Pasha, the reading of the Gemara is like the Aruch, right? We're saying that you're allowed. It's because it's in your friend's house. You're taking the grass from your friend's house, and you don't care to make your friend's lawn nicer. So then, Memela, it's not a problem, right?
What do you mean? But she doesn't want it. I understand she doesn't want it. She wants to be able to open a refrigerator without the light going on, but once she's opening it, it's not hurting her. She's benefiting from that light.
Yeah, I see. No, but if you don't care to have that light, you're right.
Not that you don't care, but if you don't want it.
Meaning, if somebody would be happy with that light during the week, then it would not be lo nichale. The assumption is that the most people that I've spoken to, but there are people that do like a light on in the fridge, but most people could care less. So you're right. If she says that she likes the light on during the week, then it would be a problem. That would be nichale. But if she doesn't care to have the light on during the week, then it's loy nichale. She doesn't want it. She doesn't care for it, right? Okay. So that's you're right. It's subjective. It is subjective, right? You could have a nice guy who's picking off the grass from his neighbor's yard because he wants his neighbor's yard to look nice, so it makes his house look nice, right? And that's the case. Then this Gemara also would be nichale even by his friend because he cares, right? That part I don't understand hashkafically. How could you don't care about your friend's yard? Right? And we should all care about our friends' yards. It's a mitzvah deraisa. Right? Okay, but that's a different question.
Plus, your property values go up with that,
Well, that's for sure, but that's only, yeah. Okay, fine. But anyways, that's the Aruch right here in this Taisus, and it's important Aruch. Okay, Zok the Mishna.
But Tzviaka, we had that before in Halachos Shabbos, I think.
We're learning Shabbos, parents.
I thought we're up to brachas. No, but we had that when we were giving the shear by Ryan's Garage. That it's also.
Oh yeah.
I can want it. My wife can't. I'll be over. She won't.
Right. No, Enochanami. Right. Yeah. You're right. Exactly. That's exactly what it would be. So you got to get somebody to open the refrigerator who doesn't like. You have to go ask opinions. Anybody? Hey, you like the light in the refrigerator? Oh, you don't care for it? Okay, you open the fridge.
You have never a blind guy open the fridge for you.
Oh, that's another. That would be yeah. Although he might benefit from the light from somebody else.
Or a Mendic that doesn't want the light on.
I know that Gemara also.
Very good. Yeah. Okay, weiter.
Wait,
so
if you were to ask a blind guy to do it, he wouldn't even be over an assur. He wouldn't even know, right?
You don't tell him. Correct.
Yeah, but would you be over lifnei iver then?
No. You a comedian?
Lifnei iver without no pun intended. You're saying in front of a blind man. That's it. Yeah.
I didn't think about that. In retrospect, hilarious. However.
Yeah, but anyways, you might be. He's not over because he's not. There are some shittas that say when you know that the light's on in the fridge, it's better to ask somebody unsuspecting to go into the fridge, and the person doesn't think that you didn't shut the light. Right? That's certainly better than somebody who knows about it.
But my question is, aren't you still over an assur regardless of?
No, because they're not over on the assur because they had no intent to do assur whatsoever. They're not over.
It's not even shkaga. It's
not. It's called misasik. There's nothing. It's nothing.
Is that the same concept?
Maybe Tyler on the brisket
to do things?
What do you want to say? What are you saying, Leo?
Is that the same concept as people asking little kids to do things on Shabbos?
Sort of, but that's not, because little kids have to not know what they're doing. So it only works for like a 1-year-old. It's once they know what they're doing and you tell them to do an issa, then you can't do it.
But I'm saying, is it the same concept?
Yes, it's along the same lines. Yes. All right, let's go. Right, if you write two, next Mishnah, right? If you write two letters, whether you write it with your right hand or your left hand, which what the Gemara is going to discuss, whether it's two letters or whether it's one letter or it's two letters, two different letters, meaning aleph beis, whether it's two different types of ink, two different colors. B'chol lashon, in any language, chayev you're chayev. Yeah. Amar Rabbi Yosi lechayev shtei oisias elam mishum roishim. We're not mechayev two letters only because it's not because you're writing. It's because you're making a mark. Shekach kaisen al kroshi mishkan. Right. This is what they wrote. They wrote them on the beams, the pillars of the Mishkan. Leida Eza Ben Zuga, to know which piece goes to next, right? You do this with your sukkah. When you're putting up your sukkah, you put different numbers so you know which order it goes. So they did that. That originated from the Mishkan. Amar Rabbi Yehuda, Matzinu Shem Katan Mishem Gadol. You can have a small.
So
right?
why is it two oisias? Why isn't it one?
What do you want? One on each board.
Two.
One on each board.
Right.
To tell you to connect them.
Right. So what is it to be? But each board has one number on it.
No,
one,
what they did is they did 1 to a 1 and a 2 to a 2, because then they didn't know which order. You want to know which one to put next to each other.
So you need two oisias?
Yeah.
It's how they did it in the Mishkan, where in the Mishkan, the base of Mikdash, they want. I'm sorry, the Mishkan. They wanted
Mishkan,
to.
yeah.
They wanted to. That's how we based all these halachos off of. So that's it would have to be two. If you just did one.
No, so what Naftali's asking is, why don't you just take one pillar, do 1 on it, and then the next one 2, the next one 3, the next one 4, and then you don't need 2 letters. Meaning, instead of each pillar having on a 1 and a 1 and a 2 and a 2, right?
I think he was asking. Naftali.
Oh, that's what I was asking. What Tiago said, Rabbi said, yeah.
Right. So I think you have to have a 1 to a 1 because. I don't know. The truth is, you still need 2 letters in order to put 2 together. You have to know which one they are.
Well, which side goes where? You know, like in the sukkah, you drill holes, so they have to match up. So you put side 1.
Still gonna be schwer.
Why? Why is it gonna be schwer? What? Lost him. Okay. Some of you
is the worst.
Can't hear you, Gershon.
I would say the cat got his tongue, but we're a dog share.
From the first and the last karish. The first karish only has one. The last. I don't know what's going on. It's muting, not muting.
All right, buddy. Say it. Okay. I'm gonna use it. Yeah, weiter.
The first karish.
Matzino shem katan mishem gadol, shem mishimin u'mishmul. Right? You could have a shem katan from shem gadol. Shem Mishimin, Mushmul, Noach Minachar, Don Mi Daniel, and God Mi Gadil. Those are all small names, part of big names. Now it was getting late, but I wanted to. There is a famous Ramah, fascinating Ramah, totally not in the Siman on Ksiva, who says that you're allowed to sign on an apartment in Eretz Yisrael on Shabbos in a foreign language, not in Hebrew. The Ramah says because that's a Derabanan. Because the only assur to write on Shabbos is writing Hebrew Lashon Kodesh, not any other language. And since it's a Derabanan, for Yishuv Eretz Yisrael, to settle in Eretz Yisrael, you're over on an assur Derabanan. So you could actually sign on the papers on Shabbos. Okay, fascinating Ramah, which we don't paskin like. It's interesting how you say you don't paskin like the Ramah, but that's what it says. And the kasha on the Ramah is this Mishnah. It says in the Mishnah, B'chol Lashon. It says in any language, right?
It could be very Nigeria.
I hope.
Yeah, Teretz Kainim cops an apartment.
Right, right. Yeah.
Diaco, I don't know if you noticed Maisa with your father, but I was eating by a certain person's house. He can probably verify it. What's his name? Son-in-law? Benji's son-in-law? Lefkowitz.
Yeah.
And Tati and I were there. They were talking about apartments. Maladafna, come by. This one, that one's available. The duplex, the other one, downstairs, upstairs. And she came out of the kitchen, fresh out of seminary, and she goes, Nishter Shabbos Garet. And Tati looked at her and goes, Yishuv Eretz Yisrael is Doicha Shabbos.
Right, there you go.
How much is the price?
Right, so that's exactly it. But Lamaisa, it's a shver. The kasha, it's very good, parents, but it's a kasha from this Mishnah that says in any language. So basically, there's a Yerushalmi that's mashma not like that. The Bir Halacha that explains this goes, I think, 3 pages, right? I don't want you to think that I read all 3 pages. I did not. But he goes through and he tries to explain that we don't necessarily pass like this. However, I'll tell you where we do use this, and nobody should ever know it, but in a hospital, if somebody they don't let you leave before you sign your name. Let's say they're insistent and they make you sign. So if you're signing it in English, you already have the Ramah to say that maybe that's not Ksiva Daraisa, it's only Ksiva Darabanon, right? We will use it in a Shas Atchak situation, but the Kasha on the Ramah is from this Mishnah. Okay. Anyway, so
cash is considered all languages, no?
Cash?
Talking money.
I hear.
Benjamin.
I hear you. Okay, so Zog Dimar, Bishlama, I yamin l'chayim mishum d'derech ksiva v'kach. So we're saying that you're also chayiv whether you write with your right hand or left hand. Okay, so the assumption is that most people are righties, right? So I understand, the Gemara says, I understand the Mishnah that you chayiv for your right hand mishum d'derech ksiva v'kach, because you write with your right hand. El asmol amai, why are you chayiv if you write with your left hand? Or ain't derech ksiva v'kach? That's not the derech, that's a shinui. To sign with your left hand, that's a shinui. Okay, so yeah, we got all the lefties out there. So Rav Yirmi be'iter yad shana. We're talking about a lefty. So a lefty is but they have a small dideki min de kuli alma. So okay, if that's the case, so then the lefty's left hand, which is really his right hand, small dideki min de kuli alma, should be like the right of everybody. V'asmol l'chayev v'yamin l'chayev. Then he should be chayev on his left and not on his right. Meaning what the Gemara is saying. So a righty should be chayev for writing with his right hand. And with his left hand, it should be potter from a carbon. You can't do it, but it's potter because it's a shinui. And the lefty should be chayiv if he writes with his left hand, but if he writes with his right hand, he should be potter, meaning there should be nobody who's going to be chayiv with both the right hand and the left hand. We're talking about somebody who's ambidextrous. They can write perfectly fine with the right hand and with the left hand. Yeah, somebody said?
Am I incorrect in remembering that the people that put together the Mishkan and all that stuff were Kohanim?
Yes, and they had to be right. No, it was Levium, but they had to be done with the right hand, 100%.
So then, but if they're done if they're lefties, isn't
you're saying? So you're asking, going back to your original kasha you always have. So it should be comparable to the Mishnah, and only the people they only wrote with their right hand, not their left hand, right?
Right.
Excellent question.
Well, I just feel like there's inconsistencies in this.
100%, Simon. I can't deny it. What should I tell you? I wish I had an answer. Yeah, we struggle with this. Tune in at 9:30 in the morning on these same channels, and you'll hear all sorts of kashas like this. In the morning kollel, we have these kashas throughout the Masechta. It's very sure.
I mean, it makes sense because you can't like discount X amount percentage of a population, but it just doesn't make a lot of sense if we're doing. It's that same question we keep asking. Until when, right? Like,
You're right. 100%. 100%. Yeah. I have a daughter that can write perfect right hand and left hand at the same exact time. They both look exactly the same. So there are people like that have this. But anyway, so it's very interesting that the Mishnah is talking about. That's a weird case. That's another kasha to ask, Simon. The Mishnah is talking about Bain Mimin Mesmo. It's talking about a guy. How many people can be ambidextrous like that? Right?
That's already another level of being ambidextrous, though.
Yeah, okay, but that's what the Mishnah is talking about. It's very few. That sometimes the Gemara asks, "You're talking about such an odd case, right?"
I don't know.
Okay, we got to get moving.
I don't know how odd it is. I mean,
all right. I don't know.
I could probably name several. Someone who's able to do that. That like the Rugged Shover did that, if I remember right. Like they tell stories of him writing Perushim.
No, Reb Chaim Oizer.
Reb Chaim Oizer, they say, right.
Right.
Probably the Rugged Shover probably could do the same thing. I would imagine all these.
Right. I mean, whatever. They all could be Bubba Mises too, but that's what they say stories about, But
they don't say right. Like they don't say it about me and you. That's the bottom line, right?
They don't say a lot of good things about me.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
Yeah, this guy right here can write with his left and right hand, and it's both illegible. Either one.
Very good, parents. Okay. Rabbi Yaakov Brei de Bas Yaakov Omar. Now this is interesting also. Notice the name here, Rabbi Yaakov Brei de Bas Yaakov. Rabbi Yaakov, the son of the daughter of Yaakov. So if you look on the side, it brings Rashi and Eruvin. Rashi and Eruvin there says that the father was not a good guy. So therefore, they went with the mother's name. Yeah? So, Rabbi Yaakov, Rei Devas Yaakov, Amar, Hamani, Rabbi Yosi, it's talking about Rabbi Yosi. It's going to Rabbi Yosi, who says that you're only chayiv because of coloring. It's just making a color. And so, therefore, any type of writing, whether it's a left or a right. Meaning, if you're chayav for roisham, you can make a roisham with your left hand. Anybody who's seen modern art, right? You could do anything you want with your left hand, right hand. You could probably even paint with your feet, and it's going to look like modern art. So it doesn't really make a difference, right? So Gemara says, "V'amid the sefer Rabbi Yosi, Reisha la Rabbi Yosi." The sefer we say is Rabbi Yosi Omer. So if the Reisha is if the sefer is Rabbi Yosi, then the Reisha is not Rabbi Yosi. So we say no, cool Rabbi Yosi. The whole Mishna is Rabbi Yosi. Fine. Amar Rabbi Yehuda Matzinu. Right. So Rabbi Yehuda says we find that you could have a word and you could have a one word within another word, right? Shem mishimin and this and that, right? So Rabbi Yehuda shtei oisiyos v'hein shnei shemes u'dam mechayev, right? If it's two letters that make two different names, that's what mechayev. Shtei oisiyos v'hein shem echad loy mechayev, because all the examples, he goes through about 5 examples. None of them have with 2 letters in a row. It's always 2 different letters, like Shin Mem from Shmuel, right? And Shimon, Noach, Nochar, Don, Daniel, nothing with Aleph, Beis, Gimel, something like that. Va'atanya va'asa achas, it says va'asa achas, Yochel at sheyichtav kol hashem, v'at sheyarek kol habeged, v'at sheyasa kol hanofa. It says you should do one malacha, right? So you would think until you write the whole name, until you sew an entire garment, until you do an entire hanofa is a sifter. Tamalar me achas. It says from one, which means you don't have to do the entire thing. You only have to do the minimum amount. So the Gemara says ime achas yochel afilu loy kosav ela ois achas. If it just says achas, so then maybe you should be chayav for just writing one letter or doing one thing. For loy orag ela chut echad, and only if you sew with one stitch. For loy asa ela bayis echad benofa, or if you make one little box of the sifter. Achas. So it says not me achas, it says achas. Right? Haketzad. You're not chayav until you write Shem Katan, Shem Gadol, Shem Mishimin, Umishmul, Noach, Minachar, Dan, Daniel, God, Megadil. This is one long kasha. It's very rare that you have a kasha that takes around a third of an Amud. Okay? Rabbi Yehuda, now we just go through a bunch of different opinions about how to dash in this passuk. Rabbi Yehuda, and then we get to the kasha.
Why is this not like last night where we were talking about 2 parts of the same Misa? We had the start and the finish, the throwing and the landing of whatever the guy was throwing, yeah?
Right.
It sounds very similar. So if you're writing Shimon, right, and you just write Shin, what difference does it make if you write Mem? Your intent was to write it, and then someone stopped you from doing it. Let's say you fell off your chair and you didn't write the Mem.
You're right. So that's what he's saying. But that is his chiddush. That even though your intention was here to write Shem, you have to go through it. Yeah. In order to get to Shimon, you have to write Shem. So your intention was to
write Shimon.
I know, but your intention was, but you did write a name. In order to get to Shimon, the Gemara really asked this a few blot ago, sort of what you're asking, son, is that in order to get to Shimon, you have to write Shem. So your intention was to write Shem. Right?
I mean, I guess, but in Hebrew, the Shin is also a word within itself, too.
Well, okay, that's a different thing. Okay,
so, I'm saying, I'm not sure what the point is. I'm not sure what the point is of Shem versus.
No, because Lamaisa, it is you did have kavanah to write.
What about?
Yeah.
Can I play the 2-minute warning card or no?
Yeah, but Gershon, we can't hear him. Okay, let's hold on because.
What if I write one letter that is made out of?
Like I don't know what's going on. Okay, Rabbi Yehuda. It's very late. Rabbi Yehuda, I feel like
it's not me, Gershi. I promise, it's not me.
Rabbi Yehuda, I feel like kasav ela shtei oisiyos. Even if you don't only write 2 oisiyos, v'hein shem echad, and they're one name chayev. Could go in sos, tos, rar, gag, chach. That's where the kasha is going to be, right? That you see, you're writing 2 letters in a row. Amar Rabbi Yosef b'chimashum kaisav hu chayev. Is he chayev because of writing? He's only chayev because of roishim. Shekain roishman al kroshei mishkan. You write on the walls of the Mishkan, Leda Ezehi Ben Zugay, to know which is its pair. Lefikach Sarat Srita Achas Ashnei Nesarim. If you scratch out, this is not writing, if you scratch out 2 letters on 2 boards, Ashtei Sritas al Neser Echor, even 2 letters on 1 board, Chayev, you Chayev. Another opinion, Reb Shimon Omer, Va'asa Achas, it says you do 1. Yochel Achi Yichlev es Kol Hashem, until you write the entire name, Achi Yere Kol HaBeged, until you sold the whole beged, Achi Yasas Kol Hanof, until you make the entire sifter. That you have to do 1 from 1. because it just says me'achas. So then if you just do one, why do you need to do two? Right? But no, achas one. You're not chayiv until you do something similar. That's the exact opinion as the first opinion, which the Gemara is going to ask. What is this adding? This is the exact opinion that we just had before. You do one and you do these. Sometimes you chayiv one on all of them, and sometimes you chayiv on each and every one. We learned, however, even if you don't, now this is the kasha from this whole brisa. Even we learned that Rabbi Yehuda says, even if you don't write ela shtei oisios ve'ein shem echad, two letters and it's one shem, chayev you're chayev, right? So you see the double letters you are chayev, and in the Mishna it's mashma that you would not be chayev for double letters, meaning aleph aleph, beis beis, gimel gimel. Only has to be two separate letters. Like kasha hadidei hadarabei. One is himself, one is his Rebbe sheet. The Tanya Rabbi Yehuda, I'm Rabbi Gamliel. Afilu because of ela beis oisios, even if you only write two oisios for hein shem echad and they're one name chayev. You're going sos tos rar gog chach. That's his Rebbe's sheet of Reb Shimon Hainu Tanakama. So now that's it. So that's the end of the kasha. One's his Rebbe, one's himself. Oh, but Reb Shimon Hainu Tanakama. Reb Shimon is the Tanakama. They're saying the same exact thing. The chitem aleph aleph the ezrecha ikabenayu. The word ezrecha has two alephs. That would be the difference between them. The Tanakam Sover, Aleph, Aleph, the Azrecha, Loim Chayev, the Aleph, Aleph, Azrecha, you would not be Chayev. But if Shimon Sover came into Isef, Bikal Ture, meaning because it's nowhere else. It's not a name, it's nothing. Nobody ever writes that. So when you write Aleph, Aleph, you're not really doing anything, like Simon was saying. But if Shimon Sover came into Isef, Bikal Ture, Ba'alma, Chayev. But since people do put it into, how do you call it, charms?
Amulets.
Amulets, thank you. Given the isi b'galduri ba'al machayev, it's chayev. So l'meimra to Reb Shimon l'chumra. Do you say that Reb Shimon's coming to be a chumra? But Tanya kidech kolshu. If somebody drills something, kolshu chayev. Hamagara kolshu, right? If you scrape something, it's a kolshu. Mahama avid kolshu. When you tan, you do a slight amount of tanning, you're chayev. Hatzar b'kli tzura kolshu. If you write a form on a kli, then it's kolshu. Reb Shimon achiyat yikadech is kuloi. Until you do the whole thing, yigra is kulei. Until you roll the whole thing, until you scrape the whole thing, yavid is kulei. Until you tan the entire piece, yotzer kulei. Until you color the entire thing. So you see, Reb Shimon holds that you have to do the entire kli. So how can you say that he's more machmer? Reb Shimon ha'asal lashmina achiyitev is a shame kulei. But what's coming to tell us that Reb Shimon holds until you write the entire word. So the Reb Shimon holds, Simon holds like Reb Shimon, that you got to write the entire word. Can you
No, that's incorrect. I don't believe that. I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying even one letter with the intent of writing the whole letter should make you.
Oh, I thought you were saying the opposite. Okay, let me think about it. Okay. Can you say this? How can you say Reb Shimon would hold this? It says in the Brisa, Reb Shimon says, you do one. Until you think you're not going to be chayav until you write the whole name. It says me'achas. So clearly Reb Shimon does not hold you need to write the whole name. You would think you have to write the whole passuk. No, you only have to write one word from the passuk. Meaning, but you do have to write a whole word. Right? You do one, you do these. Sometimes you chayav one on all, and sometimes you chayav on all of them. On each and every one. My time is yosi. Achas me achas, heina me heina. Right? We learn now achas me achas and heina me heina. Right? The mem, the extra hein, the extra mem. Achas she heina, heina she achas. It's one could be many and many could be one. Achas Shimon, me achas is Shemi Shimon. Right? One name is Shimon and me achas is Shemi Shimon. Heina is Avos. Me heina told us. Right? You're the Av and the Tolda. Achas she heina. Zod Shabbos of Shivgas Malchus. To be chayav on one and you're going to do many, that's if you're amazed on Shabbos, you do many shaygigim, right? So then you're going to be chayav on each and every one. Heina shiachas, if there's many yisurim, you're only going to chayav one, should be obvious at this point. Shivgas Shabbos, Zod Malchus, you totally forgot that it's Shabbos. If you totally forgot that Shabbos, even though you did many different malachas, you're only going to be chayav one. Okay, we'll stop here. Sorry for going a little fast at the end.
Yaakov, do you have liner? Your kids davened already?
No, we're going right now.
So hold on. We could probably get a minion. Jesse, you there already?
Jesse could be Moish. How many people are outside?
I'm already here. We just said Baruch.
How many people are there?
I'm 1, 2, Liners 3, 4,
Jesse, how many
5.
are out
You're
there,
6. Jesse 7. Why don't we just take a Meyer in 5 minutes?
I don't know how many are out there. Okay.
12.
12, so we don't have. So, 1 second. We're 3. Liners of 6, 7. Okay.
With Jesse, we're 7. You get 2 more.
Jesse probably
3 more.
started already. Okay, so I'll wait for you.
Say, do.
All right. Okay, have a good night, everybody.
We'll go down here.
Actually, I'm sorry you couldn't get in your word. You couldn't get in what you wanted. Yosi Steinberg is there. All right.
I don't know what's flying.
I'll be back later. All right.
Okay, I'm on the way. Bye, guys. Bye, Yosef.
What are we doing? Parrots, what are we doing?